Let me start off by creating a 3-column container so that we can apply and explore useful utilities in Bootstrap. Let's copy and paste this row and column. And this is how it looks like without the utilities. So let's visit Bootstrap, then look for borders. Now, you can set the border by using the class border, and if you want a border with only on top, you can add the -top class, or end, bottom, or start. Bootstrap borders are CSS utility classes provided by the Bootstrap framework, which allow developers to easily add borders to elements without having to write custom CSS. These classes can be applied to various HTML elements to control their border properties, such as color, width, and style. I'll use the border class on the first column, which means I am making the whole column be inside a box. Also, I set the other one to appear only the bottom border and the right side border for the middle box. The only problem here, if you notice, is that borders are close to each other. That's why you can't see the difference among the columns. But if we change some properties, we can notice the difference among the columns. We can also change the color of the border. Here are some examples similar in changing the colors of a button and other elements. I'll set the border to warning so that we can see the color associated with warning in Bootstrap. Always remember to call for the class name followed by the effects you want to insert inside. So this is how it looks like with a colored border. Another utility is the shadow, which gives a 3D-like effect to your designs. By using these shadow utility classes, developers can easily enhance the visual appearance of elements in their Bootstrap-based projects without writing additional CSS. We only need to call for shadow class followed by the effect we want to integrate from small shadow to regular and larger shadows. If you haven't noticed, there is a small amount of shadow applied inside this box. Let's try to apply on the 2 remaining boxes. So this is the regular shadow and the large shadow appearing on the last box. Another important utility is the spacing, which creates a padding and margin between each elements. Remember, the P class is referring for padding, and the possible value for this is any number from 0 to 5 only. It could be 2.5 or 0.25. Any value you can think of between those numbers. Padding is a CSS property that controls the space between the content of an element and its border. We can also set the margin, which is the class M, with a similar value from 0 to 5 only. The margin property controls the space around an HTML element. It defines the space between the element's border and adjacent elements, effectively creating space between elements in a layout. In most cases, you can set this into auto in such a way it will change according to the size of a device. Notice how it behaves upon changing to auto if I adjust the screen to a small size. This adjusts properly upon changing to a certain screen size. Lastly is the opacity of the design. You can use this by including opacity inside the class and the value you want to apply. That's it for now. These are some of the many utilities you can get inside Bootstrap. Try not to limit your knowledge to what is inside this video. Thank you for learning.